Hello and welcome to the Elsabe Smit Show. A change is as good as a holiday. We all make changes in our lives, but I want to focus today on really major changes, big changes that impact on your entire life, like a new beginning. People love to say, I'm making a new beginning. They say that when they move out of a relationship, when they move to a different country, when they move away from people that they don't like, when they change careers. They want to make a new beginning. They want to leave behind the stuff that they no longer need. It's not as simple as that. Trust me, I've done it several times and I've learned my lesson. When you make a new beginning, when you move on and you literally move away, clear your space, move into a different space, you don't leave behind the stuff that you can't or won't deal with. It all comes with you. So when you pack that suitcase, all your history, all your baggage could potentially go into that suitcase. And guess what? When you unpack on the other side, whether it's a new home out of the relationship that you were in, whether it's moving to a different country, moving to a different city, moving to a different job, it doesn't matter. If you don't deal with that baggage, that's the first stuff that goes into your suitcase. And it's also the first stuff that pops out of your suitcase, regardless of your best intentions. So, what should happen to this baggage? You need to deal with it because your past becomes ingrained in every cell of your body. So your past is part of this new beginning. It's the foundation for your new beginning, whether you like it or not. You carry your past as the foundation for the future. It shouldn't be your baggage. You do need to deal with it. How do you deal with it? You find the gratitude in what happened to you. You find the wisdom, you find the lesson, you understand how whatever it is that you thought you wanted to leave behind has made you a better, stronger, wiser person. Then you understand that that baggage is no longer on your back. It's no longer in your suitcase. It is part of who you are. It's part of the magnificent being that you have become as a result of that process. I have channeled a lovely little book which I will show here. It is called Shine. In this book, there's some advice on how to get ready for the future, how to deal with this new beginning. I'm quoting from the book. How do you get ready for the future? That's easy. Live today to the fullest and do not discard your creations from yesterday. The more you live in the future, the more patience you need today. Let's just go back to that first part. Live today to the fullest and do not discard your creations from yesterday. So yes, do not discard your creations from yesterday. Make it part of who you are. Don't say, I'm moving away from a bad experience. I'm moving away from a person that I no longer want to live with. I'm moving away from everything that I couldn't deal with. It's just not going to work. Those are the first things that pop out of your suitcase on the other side. Rather say, I have processed, I've dealt with everything in my past. I found the wisdom. I'm now ready to move on as a better, stronger, wiser person. So live today to the fullest. Do not discard your creations from yesterday. And the other part of the advice is the more you live in the future, the more patience you need today. Now, what does this mean? For me, it means, yes, do live in the future because daydreaming, dreaming about your future, dreaming about the ideal world, all of that is part of your creation process. So yes, you have to do it. But if things don't happen right now and today, be patient. Be patient. The more you live in the future, the more patience you need today. Keep focusing on what that dream is. Keep making that dream as real as possible in your mind, in your daydreams. And every time you make that dream of the future more real, more realistic, you get one step closer to your ideal future. So be patient. See how the picture unfolds. And this is also a secret that I've learned on my own journey. Even when it feels like nothing is happening, there's always a lot happening under the surface. You know, when you make this big change, when you move from the end of one cycle to the beginning of a new cycle, there's this period in the middle that I call the dark corridor, the dark night of the soul, people call it, where you feel, it doesn't matter how much effort I put in. It doesn't matter how hard I work. It doesn't matter how hard I try. I'm just not getting anywhere. I'm just not getting any closer to the future that I'm planning for yourself. Now remember this. Even if it feels like nothing is happening, a lot is happening under the surface. You have to work hard for change in your life. You have to take action all the time. But it's not just about the physical action. It is about being very much aware of your thoughts, of your thought process. Getting that information from wherever the source is, whether it's the Pleiades, whether it's the sun, whether it's another planet, wherever our collective consciousness is stored. You get that information from there. Let it take shape. Allow it into your consciousness. That's the first part of taking action to getting to your future. Then once you've allowed that stuff into your consciousness, the next part is to accept those thoughts. Don't run away with them. Don't run away from them. Accept those thoughts. Let them grow. Let them progress, because thoughts turn into action. Action turns into more action, and that eventually turns into your reality. So if your reality doesn't materialize immediately, why not? Why is it that you sometimes work so hard and you really put your heart and mind and soul and everything into what it is that you want, and you just get to a point where you think, it's just not worth it. I'm just not getting anywhere. I'm treading water and nothing is happening. Again, let's get the answer from our friends from the Pleiades. Another quote from this lovely little book. They say, you are counting the days to a new beginning that you know is waiting for you. We want to give you a new and different view on this. You are in fact only waiting for the materialization of what is already. So don't get despondent when you put your heart and mind and soul and everything into this new beginning, because there's a lot of stuff happening. You are counting the days to a new beginning that you know is waiting for you. We want to give you a new and different view on this. This is a repetition. This is what they are saying. You are in fact only waiting for the materialization of what is already. A new beginning does not start when things finally start to happen. Over years, you have planted many seeds and seen seeds planted. Those seeds have grown and become young plants. A new beginning means that the young plants are finally bearing fruits. Everything that eventually happens to you starts with a moment of awareness. When you pinpoint that moment of awareness and write it down, you retain the awareness and you see other signposts along the way that quickens the growth process, because your faith is strengthened and you make choices in line with the signposts. This becomes a way of life, an alternative education. So it's really important that we listen to that inner voice. They are telling us, they are showing us that awareness that the change is happening is the most important part. Once you're aware that the change is happening, you've dealt with your baggage, you've internalized everything, you've found the wisdom, then you know that the change is happening because you've got that awareness. Then the signposts start appearing and popping up all over the place. And that becomes then a way of life. That is how you make your choices in line with these signposts. Now, you will recognize in your own life what these signposts are. Whether it is a phone message from somebody, whether it's something you read in a newspaper, it could be anything. I can only describe it as a deep sense of knowing. You know that things are happening. You know that things are changing. You can kick and scream against it, or you can identify and recognize these signposts, bring them into your awareness, help yourself to stream forward with this awareness. Now, with such a big change, of course you will have doubts. Of course you will have doubts. You are dealing with very subtle signposts. Like I said, the signposts are individual. There isn't a manual that can describe this for you. There isn't a guideline that applies to everybody. It's about your own awareness. So yes, you are dealing with these subtle signposts. And that's part of the doubts. you're not quite sure, did you read it right or not? Whenever you doubt, trust your gut and listen to your heart. Another reason for having doubts is that you're dealing with synchronicity. You're dealing with stuff that happens that do not have any apparent cause. And you're not quite sure. It's like a little game where you need to learn a new language. So yes, there could be doubts about that. Also, there are parts of the path that are still under development. You know, quite often people come to me for psychic readings and they want to know exactly what the future holds. And I have to tell them, you have an option to do this, to do that, to do the other. As a part of this big change that you're going through and the part of the new beginning, there will always be deviations, slight deviations. Do you want to do this or do you want to do that? Now, those deviations are not massive. To give you an indication of the scale, you brush your teeth every day anyway. So it will be, do you want to use this toothpaste or that toothpaste? The bottom line is you're still going to brush your teeth. So if there are deviations, see them in that way. Don't see them as I'm being steered in a different direction. It's more about I'm being given choices so that I can still achieve my end result. And then there are still parts of the path that are still under development. Remember, yes, you do have a destiny here. You do have a life script, but you also have free will and you also have choices. So all of this it's all quite subtle, but it all brings in confusion and a little bit of doubt. And then you also, obviously, you also have other people's agendas. Other people have their free will and it impacts on what you do. So that also confuses the issues. There's a timeline for when things happen. And that timeline is not always absolutely precise. You know that you're heading towards a new beginning. You know that the new beginning is already happening. So yes, it's quite natural to become impatient and to understand, and also to become very tired because you're putting so much effort into this new beginning. And then you deviate to this side, you're being steered in a different direction. So yes, you will feel physically tired, physically a lot more tired than you would feel if you had actually done stuff that would make you physically tired. Be patient with yourself. Rest when you need to rest. And there's also a time lag. You know, you put a huge amount of effort into creation, into creativity. Then there's the period of rest. Remember about the creation process? The earth was made in 6 days and on the 7th day God rested. You're using the same process. Humans are the only species on this planet that have that gift of being creative and of creating things. So yes, you also use 6 time periods to create. And then the 7th time period, you rest. And guess what? Then what you have created starts to materialize. And again, this lovely little book gives us an indication of how to deal with those doubts and what to do with them. So let me read from this again. It says, yes, those clouds, that will be the clouds of doubts, those clouds serve a purpose. This is how it works. You start at the point where the belief is not relevant to you, but then it gets challenged. You then start to defend your belief, which grows stronger, but so does the challenge. That is where your clouds of doubt appear. You fully accept your belief. That's now the belief in this new beginning in the future that's unfolding for you. But you also cannot ignore the challenge. Therefore, you do nothing and wait for the clouds to settle. During this time, you feel lost, adrift, even a traitor to yourself. But when those clouds open, you have total clarity. You understand clearly why you had the doubts and how you will move forward. Looking back, the resolution of the doubts becomes a solid part of your foundation. You move from being a student to being a teacher. And then you see the clouds in other people's minds. You understand their doubts. You are able to help them step by step at their own pace through the clouds, because you have been there and risen above the clouds. And at the same time, your level of skill has grown. You experience this all the time in different areas of your life, and it is a natural process. You could beat yourself up about having doubts, or you could see your truth unfold and see a miracle happening. Isn't that a wonderful reassurance that they're giving us? You could beat yourself up about having doubts, or you could see your truth unfold and see a miracle happening. So, if you are heading for a massive change, a major change, a new beginning, or if you are in the process of change and you wonder what's happening, here's the advice. Be patient. Be kind to yourself. Rest when you are physically tired. Remember, a caterpillar needs to break out of a cocoon so that it can become a butterfly. It is hard work to tear open that cocoon, to break out, to learn to fly. But eventually it becomes natural. You are destined to be a butterfly. Don't worry if you are feeling physically tired now, because you are the caterpillar breaking out of the cocoon. Now, this one is really, really important. Ensure that your thoughts are totally focused on your result, because every thought that you think is part of creating the result. So when you have a thought of doubt, turn that thought into, yes, but what if I do move forward towards my new beginning? So this is holding me back. Yes, but what if I can turn it into an advantage and make it work for me? And ensure your actions are an expression of your thoughts. It's also really important that whatever you think and do, you must do not in terms of competition, not in terms of how can I beat somebody else, but think in terms of creativity. How can I move forward into a future that will benefit everybody? Not just me, but my family, my friends, everybody I come into contact with. How can I be creative without being competitive, and in that way make the world a better place? Remember, you're taking all your baggage with you. It's important to turn that baggage on your back into the foundation of who you are moving into the future. Get it all resolved before you make the change, or get it all resolved as part of the change. You cannot escape your past. You can only learn from it and be grateful for today, for yesterday, for tomorrow. That's why I'm saying a change is as good as a holiday. A change lifts your vibration to the next level and makes you a better, stronger, wiser person who can move into the future, move across that rainbow, move to the pot of gold at the end, at either end of the rainbow, or at both ends of the rainbow. Why not? What's stopping you? And make this world a better place. Doesn't matter whether your change is moving out of a relationship, moving to a different city, moving to a different job, moving to a different country, moving away from a friendship and being on your own for a while. It doesn't matter. That change is as good as a holiday. Appreciate it. Make the best of it. I'll see you again next Sunday, same time, same place, 4 o'clock UK time. Thank you and goodbye.